Hey guys, it's Jess from Fly to Fiction again. So, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reviewing a book that I love, and that is Strange and Ever After by Susan Dennard. I never know if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, but anyway, I'm just gonna say Suze because I call her Suze or Susan, so yeah. So actually, at the time that I'm recording this, I don't know when I will post this video, but at the time I'm recording this, it is Sunday, August 31st, and basically Suze will be at the Air of Fire launch on Tuesday at Books of Wonder. So Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, if you don't know, which you should know, but anyway. So I will be meeting her for the first time there, and I am so excited. And yeah, I'm just ecstatic if you haven't seen it on Twitter or whatever. But I'm so excited because I love Suze, and I do love her books. And of course, I'm also excited to finally meet Sarah, but you know, different. So I meant to get this review up like around the time of the book's release. I meant to write a review on my blog, but then yeah, I think it was like that week I was away and didn't have like solid Wi-Fi, and it just did not work out. But yeah, so I figured that I should probably make a review video for the book now. So yeah, this is the third and last book to the Something Strange and Deadly series, and I love it. I love the series a lot. I will probably book push it a bunch of times. So if you haven't read the series yet or tried it, I highly encourage you to do so. It's really great, and even if you don't want to read the books, or if they don't interest you, I do recommend talking to Suze on Twitter or something because she's just the nicest and I love her. But anyway, moving on to my review. Okay, so it's been a while since I've read this book, since I did read an e-arc of it, but I did take some notes, so hopefully it will help me, like, jog my memory a little bit. But firstly, I just have to say I love this book, and it was such a great last book to the series, although I'm so sad the series is over. And yeah, so I guess first thing to get out of the way is, like, there is just so much suspense in this book. I'm sure if you've read the other books, you know that the series is kind of suspenseful and it moves very quickly. But this book, even more so, like, yeah, just all the suspense, and it's really well written and fairly fast paced, so I really enjoy that, and it made it a really quick read, but not in a bad way, of course, in a very good way. It was just so good and so engrossing, and it's just like you wanted to keep reading it all the time. Second thing, all the feels, oh my gosh, this book, guys, ugh, I can't even, with the ending, and I just, I like don't want to spoil anything, but I really want to talk about it. So, yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, which I'm sure you do if you've read the book, please like talk to me about it in some way because oh my gosh, why Suze? Literally, I like cried because of that ending. But I guess speaking of the ending, I do think it was a really fitting ending. I think it makes sense that that not everybody survives. I'm gonna leave it at that. I think that it makes sense, but it's still really sad and it really gets you in the feels. So thanks for that, Suze. But yeah, I think it's a great ending and it's a really solid ending, and I thought it was really sweet. Sort of like the tribute that they did. It's really hard to talk about it without spoiling anything, but really, yeah, the end, I think it was perfect, even though it was so sad. It's kind of reminds me of Fringe, which had one of the best endings for a series ever. I mean, I haven't really seen that many TV finales, but for Fringe, I thought it was really well done, and even though it was really sad or bittersweet, it really fit the show. So I think that the ending for Strange and Ever After kind of is like that, where it really fits the series and it really fits the book, even though it's really sad and it just like hits you like, why? But yeah, and then there's this quote at the end, which I don't remember exactly where it is, so I'm not going to find it. But it's basically about Eleanor, she's talking to this girl that she sees, something about like strangeness and seeing things deadly, dark, and lovely. And I just love that sentence because it really brought together all three books in the series, and it was kind of like a wink wink to the other books and to the titles. So I thought that was really clever, and I really liked it, and I think that it's meaningful and it shows a lot about Elle's character. So yeah, and I guess this goes without saying, but again, like, this was my favorite book of the series, by far. And yeah, so anyway, other things that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the character dynamics. Part of the reason the second book disappointed me a little bit was because a lot of that character dynamic from the first book was lost in the second book, and I'm glad that it sort of started coming back again in this book. Of course, it's very understandable that it goes very slowly because they're all feeling betrayed, or they're all feeling that kind of like hesitation. So I understand that, but I'm really glad that I think that that's good because it makes sense for the story. But I also like how it kind of goes back a little bit to what it was before, but of course with that new sense of hesitancy, but in a very good way. And I love Gia, and I'm so glad that she really got to shine in this book. At least in my opinion, I think that the trauma that she faced was really well written, and I'm so glad that it's discussed, because a lot of times in books, movies, film, whatever, it's kind of skimmed over, where the author or writers, whatever, will kind of skip it or not treat it with the, I don't want to say the respect that it deserves, but with the attention that it deserves and that it needs. And I think that Suze did a great job with addressing Jiz's trauma, and I think that it's really well written, and it made me feel very glad that she did that, because you don't see that very often. And kind of going off of that, also Eleanor's trauma with her mother, I thought that was really well done as well, very well handled. And it's just amazing to see, because a lot of times people who don't have good relationships with their parents, when something bad happens, you see a shift in that, and you also see, or you can also tell, like, their inner conflict over it. And I really got the sense of that in this book, and it was just really well done. Other, I guess, forms of relationships, there was that one plot twist with Allison where I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I should have seen it coming, and I guess I may have had an inkling, but I was like, what? So yeah, that thing with Allison, which I can't say because spoilers, but yeah, and of course, Daniel and Eleanor, oh my gosh, I can't, literally, I love their romance throughout the series because it's so slow, in a good way, and it develops slowly because they're both so unsure, and they both have so much writing on them from the past, and it really shows in this book especially how much their past experiences with one another and with everything that's going on really affects their relationship. And I thought that was really well done, and I really liked how Suze went about developing the relationship. I thought it was I love it, and all the feels. Yeah, I'm not gonna say more. And lastly, of the relationships, or I guess a few, but surrounding Oliver. So the evolving relationship between Oliver and Elle, I thought that was so interesting to see how they both learn that they're both wrong, but that they're also both sort of right, like neither of them are in the wrong, neither of them are completely in the right. So I really like that exploration and seeing the darker side of Elle, but also seeing her learn and kind of bounce back from that darker side. There were times when Eleanor did annoy me, especially in terms of either her interactions with Oliver or with Daniel, but in the end I think she just changed so much. And if you see my blog post for my Summer of Songs event where I actually wrote 2 songs based on the series. Um, Sue's like sort of mentioned Eleanor's transition throughout the series, and yeah, I really saw that, and I thought it was really powerful and very well written. And the other relationship that was very interesting was between Gia and Oliver. I actually really liked the dynamic between the two of them. Um, it's not my favorite like relationship whatever, but I think it was really interesting, and I really like seeing that, especially because you get a better sense of it, um, and I think it's interesting once they start to understand each other a little bit more, how that changes their dynamic in their relationship. So I really enjoy that. um, but yeah, I guess that's really like the last point I had written down. But really, I just enjoy this book so much, and I highly recommend it. Or I recommend the series if you haven't read the series yet. But really, like, yeah, all the feels, all the suspense, all the like amazingness. Very well written series, very well developed relationships and ideas, and just everything that really comes together in this book. You see it all come together, and I really like seeing the 3-story arc of this series, and I thought it was extremely well done. And yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm such a huge fan of Suze, but I just love her a lot. So yeah, this book gets a 4.5 out of 5 from me, because there were times when Eleanor still did annoy me a lot, or I wanted to be like, why? But anyway, yeah, so I highly recommend this book. Definitely check it out. And yeah, so I don't know if you can tell, but I love it so much, and I can't wait to meet Suze. So be sure to check out the book, which I've said like 10,000 times. I should really end this review because it's getting really long. But yeah, so let me know below if you read the book or the series, if you enjoy it, what you thought, and if you'd like me to take a look at your review, please link that to me below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like or subscribe, or, help me spread the word about this video and about my channel. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and hopefully I will be back soon with another review. Bye!